What's up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is March the 20th, 2020, and we're back again on the charts for our profit recap session plus next week market insight. So first things first, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment. That'd be greatly appreciated, and we'll be picking this week's winner for the free month of our trade room service. So I'm gonna be using a random comment picker to choose that winner, and we'll see who the lucky person is. Also, for my members on Portal, good morning to you guys. And as I go through this session, I'll be answering questions, but that'll be towards the end once I get the stuff I want to get out of the way. So let's go ahead and pick the winner of this week's free month. So let's get the comments from our Monday's video, and let's pick a winner. So the winner is Synchronize. Surprise, hasn't gold shot up? Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised too. So Synchronized, if you're watching, please email support@forexlens.com to get your free month in our trading room. And or you can also just check out our website and chat with Allison. So awesome. Thank you for your comment. If you want to be like Synchronized, make sure you comment and like on any of our videos and be a subscriber. Next up, I want to talk about our March promotion that is going on, and it's a really good offer. And to be honest, you guys really need to take advantage because it's already has started. So basically, for premium members, if you bring a max of 10 people into Discord, they will get 14-day trial. For free members, you can bring a minimum of 3 friends into Discord, and they all receive a 14-day trial. After that, if all 3 members end up joining, you'll be eligible for a free membership or a recurring commission for the lifetime of the membership. So that's a good way to make some extra money. And the trial membership has already started. It started on March 16th, and it's going to go all the way to March 31st. So this is on Discord only, and your friends will get full access to our daily live sessions plus our full signal service. So we're already 4 days in, guys, around 11 days left. So make sure over the weekend you refer your friends and take advantage of this because it's really good. And you guys already know the value as members. You probably already know the value, and you would love to help a friend out. So that's good. And at the end of this video, I'll be giving away a 50% off coupon code for our Forex trading room. So stay tuned for that. Without further ado, I'm going to get towards the analysis. And so this week was probably our best week on record, I guess. We made, I don't want to shock anyone, but we made around 800 pips. Our goal was 300 pips, but we made 800. And we'll show you the trades we took to get there. So we'll talk about USD CAD later in the session. But let's talk about the trades that got us where we are. So first off was Aussie dollar. Shorts, swing shorts, and let's see if we can find the actual idea. TradingView has a tendency to not save my charts, but which is fine. We'll just have to adjust. Here we go. Cool. So this was a trade we took, and this was actually from last week. We got a re-entry this week as well, and I'll show you guys the signal I called for this trade. And so this was our initial entry. Back in March 17th, and we entered at 0.59775, and that entry was somewhere right here. Okay, and from here we took it all the way down to here, and that was a huge gain. We'll actually show you how much we made on this trade, and we were already in this trade to begin with, but this was more of a re-entry for those that missed it, or for those that were going to look to tack into another position. So it ended up dropping another 500 pips, but our final take profit was here, and this was 290. So we made 290 on just this one trade for Aussie dollar. We then compounded that trade with a short on NSD USD. Very similar story. Pretty much just a different face. So we'll look at NSD USD. And very simple, nice trade, very deep profits. And again, the gain on this trade was phenomenal. And these are swing trades that are playing out in a matter of a few days, which is good for us. So around a 450 pip gain, but we targeted, let's see, sell NSD/USD. We targeted this right here, and we got around 200 pips, 280 to be exact. So pretty solid. That's 600 pips right there. And then we had some trades, that were kind of in and out. So we had Aussie yen yesterday, and this was a very quick 90-ish pips. Let's show that signal as well. So sell Aussie, 63.576. You can see, oh, it's raining really hard outside. So entry was right around here, and we made a nice push to the downside for around 80 pips. Very simple. We already had taken profits, at least at TP1, if not at TP2, and then we got bounced at entry, so it was a risk-free trade. So this can be done with, but pretty quick, easy pips. And my goodness, it's raining cats and dog outside. And then next up we had Euro CHF, which is a trade which we're currently in, and we're just waiting. Currently in some minor drawdown right near entry. We are expecting for this thing to go lower, possibly over the weekend, and so that's going to require some patience. But the downside for this trade is ridiculous, and we definitely want to take advantage. So if I show you the overall trade idea we have here, it's a mega swing trade, and based on the current market sentiment with the Black Swan event, what's happening in the world, the pandemic, we think this thing is going to head lower. It's all about patience. And in terms of another trade that we took that was in some profit, that is in some drawdown, is CAD CHF short. Now we had a very similar story with this trade. Let me see which provider it was. Here we go. So this trade, let's go to 4 hour. Our entry was on the 4 hour time frame, and we entered right here on this 4 hour candle, and we made a pretty decent gain from this entry point, around 110. I got out at 60 pips right here, and then I was asleep, but my partial position is still open. It's around 20% of my usual position, and so we did get into some deep drawdown. But you guys remember, this is a huge support zone we're talking about, and prices reacting and rejecting back down. So core retail sales came out for the dollar today, the CAD dollar, and it was worse than expected, obviously, because of the pandemic. So this is going to be good for pushing this lower, and it's going to take some patience. And plus, right now, my 20% position, and we're in around 200 pips drawdown. That's around, last time I checked was I was down $109, which is completely nothing to what we made this week. So I'm more than happy to hold it. And hopefully over the weekend this thing gaps down and it continues its path down, because the daily still looks pretty bearish if you ask me. You can see this daily candle, just a huge wick to the top. It could be just a nice fake out to get the stops here before it continues down lower. So those are the trades we took this week. Not too many. It was around 4 or 5 solid trades. Just getting what we can and staying patient. And I'll go over some examples of how we were patient in a bit, but I'll take this moment to kind of check on everyone in the chats, both on the portal and on YouTube. Make sure everyone's well, and if they have any questions, I'll answer a few. So just give me a second. And something just came out from RT. Germany furious as Trump offers $1 billion for its vaccine. That's crazy. I didn't know they had a vaccine already, but let me get to everyone on the chats. Hope everyone's good. Hi guys, good morning. And let me actually pop this portal open so you guys see who I'm talking to. And so this is our Forex Lens portal. This is where the live sessions actually hosted, our paid ones for that matter, and the free users are watching on YouTube. CAD CHF was a trade that was taken right after the live session. I spoke about it in Minor Trade Talks, Trade Talk Minors. I said, where'd it go? Yep, good. So someone said they're going to enter Euro CHF, and I said, yep, I've entered CAD CHF as well. Let me check on the people on YouTube. And then I'm very intrigued about analysis for next week, trades that we can potentially take. So I'm going to say hi to everyone on YouTube really quickly. Hey Jessica, good morning. She has some pair recommendations. So Jessica wants opinions on AJ, which is Aussie yen. GU, which is pound dollar, and oil. And those two setups I do want to talk about, especially oil. So thank you for that recommendation. Big Ray, good morning, man. Silent Trader, morning. Great calls this week. 5 out of 6 for me. That's awesome, Darren. Could you go over your USD, Tyler? Of course. And that second year EU. Cool, awesome. So we'll quickly go in order. So let me go over AJ. We already went. GU was a juicy setup that we really wanted to enter, but patience paid off. Because yesterday, I actually did a play-by-play of this trade. Basically, we wanted a 4-hour closure below this blue zone to go short, and what had happened was this 4-hour candle was down here. It was a full-on bearish candle, a full body, and I was salivating. I was ready to enter. It was like this, like ready to go, ready to go all the way down here like a candle, right? So let me actually remove this idea. But obviously you can see this thing squeeze back. So it was at one point it was down here, but then it squeezed back up, and that's why I always wait for the 4-hour candle, because these pound pairs are volatile. They try to trick you. It's pretty hard to gauge sometimes. So let me actually show you. So I said GU, boys and girls, and then we got a bit excited, but someone also mentioned we still got 2.45 hours to candle closure. Yes, and I'm like, if the Forex God can keep it this way, then it's better. But GU, patience pays, because if you entered here, you would have got stopped out immediately, and that's why that trade was not taken. Maybe the 2-hour candle will show you this. So 2-hour candle was showing us that we're gonna go lower, but that 4-hour candle closure for any pound pair is important. And I'm pretty sure if we did get that 4-hour bearish closure, we would be heading lower for pound dollar. Obviously now we might look at a different sort of way of approaching this. For me personally, I think we're probably going to go back to this blue zone, actually go deep into it and look for a rejection to go lower. Because if you look at the past, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we had 8 straight days of sell-offs for the pound dollar. So it was only time, time before some buyers come in for a retrace. Oh. And that's what's happening basically. So I think next week we'll probably look for some sort of rejection in this blue zone before going lower. And that's probably it. But I really wanted to talk about discipline and not entering that trade, even though it looked good, and even though I wanted to enter, I knew. And our clients knew. Our clients even knew that, hey, RP, we still got 2 hours and 45 minutes before we enter, and that's good. That means you're learning, right? So this still looks pretty good as a short. I mean, like I said, we have 8 days of sell-offs. It's no surprise that we do have a retrace, but we'll see. If it pops above this blue zone, then we might have to start thinking of longs. But I think the dollar is still here to dominate, at least during this pandemic. So that's done with. And then U.S. oil. I mean, this is our best friend. We're pretty much like have 95% accuracy on this thing. And so we'll talk about this real quickly. And so very similar concept for U.S. oil. I mean, we've had countless shorts. We've caught a lot of the major moves for oil, including this one all the way down to 25 and lower. In yesterday's session, someone asked for my opinion for oil, and I said, I don't want to say this word because YouTube is penalizing us for saying this word. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that's the rain outside. Anyways, we'll get worse before it gets better. Therefore, we should have another push down. But basically, I was looking for a 4-hour closure below, the support. We never got it. We were right here yesterday, and we ended up pushing up. But we came back up to this previous support, had a nice rejection, and this is a nice entry to go short again. But today is Friday, so I'm going to hold off on that. But U.S. oil, I'm not really buying into these huge retraces that are taking out previous highs because it's all manipulation. It's all saving face. I know at this point that the inevitable is going to happen, and oil will go lower. I have a target of maybe $17 per barrel, $17 per barrel, but that's a discussion for Monday because a lot can happen over the weekend, and oil has been gapping every weekend during this pandemic. So we'll figure out more on Monday's free session, but that's what I see for those 3 pairs. Jessica, right? Jessica, yep. If you're a free member, you gotta get on this because the 50% coupon code will give you full access to our signals and all these live sessions for $48.50. That's a tab when you go out drinking. That's a tab when you go out for lunch. I mean, invest in yourself. So if you're a free member and you want to get on these trades, you have to join this trading room. The value is just right there for you to take. Could you go over Euro USD? For sure. So Euro USD. Now this was a trade that I was reluctant to take yesterday, but since we were so up for the week, I just took it anyways. So I told the guys and girls in the Discord that, hey guys, you know what, Euro USD could probably make a push to 1.05, which is our 2020 bold target. So you know what, since there could be a retrace, we'll get stuck in a retrace. Let's enter 40% of our regular position, and we ended up doing that. I don't know where it went. Let me see if it's somewhere here. One moment while I try to find this. Alright, here you go. Okay, cool. So I said, where did it go? I won't spend too much time, but I said retrace is what we'll get for Euro USD, closing half of my 40% position. So we only have a 20% position running, and that ended up getting stopped out. But if you do 20% of 80 pips, it was only a 20 pip loss. So that was pocket change for the potential gain we could have got, and I do think it is possible, but maybe next week we'll probably have to wait for this support on the 4-hour to get cleared. But we like to show our losses too. We're not perfect, but a 20 pip loss, I'm not really sweating it after what a great week we had. Actually, the great few weeks, but yeah. So maybe on Monday if we get a breach of this 4-hour support, we'll probably be headed lower to 1.05 300. If you guys remember back in December when we were doing my bold predictions for 2020, I said that Euro will touch 1.05 300 by the end of 2020, and guess what? We're about 180 pips away, so that's pretty good. So that's Euro, in my opinion. It's still following price action, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and then this should be a lower low, but we'll see. It is Friday, and much of Wall Street is struggling. By the way, they even closed the trading floor for Monday, so that's gonna be interesting. Next up, yeah, if you don't have too much time, I think my signals are great. You just enter them and you kind of forget. Morning. Jessica says get in on the discount, guys. I signed up this week and it's well worth it. That's awesome. Don't signal trade in this live. No, this is Friday. Friday we do profit recaps. There's not much to really trade on Fridays, right? We mainly enter trades on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mondays are our general kind of session where we get an idea of the trades we could potentially take. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when we get juicy entries and all that good stuff. Do you think the US dollar will keep pushing higher? That's a great question, Justin, and I'm actually curious too. I haven't looked at the dollar index in quite a while, so we'll take a look at the dollar index, see what it's up to. Find the particular chart we were looking for. Okay, here it is. So I'm just trying to remove these minute levels, and damn, the dollar index is on one. So talk about dominance. I mean, look at this weekly candle. So this is this week's weekly candle. It'll probably close this way. The next set of resistance is probably going to be up here near 100, and I think that's a good psychological level for the dollar index, and I believe we spoke about it in one of our sessions. So we've crushed 100 right here. In the past we've talked about this level, and then the next resistance is where these wicks are, right around 103.50. So that level obviously has some significance. For some reason, we spent, I think, 4 weeks trying to break this thing, with all our might, until we finally gave up. So I think that's probably the next target for the dollar index. I do think it'll be able to achieve that next week. I don't want to jinx it, but looking at a monthly, you can see we've printed a monthly monthly bullish, hammer. This is a bullish hammer on the monthly time frame. You don't really see that, but when you do, usually have rallies. For example, right here you have a rally. For example, here you have a rally. Here you have a rally. Multiple bullish hammers here, and you have a rally. So I do think the dollar is gonna go to make new highs. So first it needs to clear, 103.50. which is look like it's gonna do. Which it looks like it will do. But take in this monthly candle. You can see the size of this candle. You can count the past 30 candles, and we haven't seen a candle of this size. I can't find one. Maybe this one is comparable to this size, but the past 30 candles don't even come close to this candle. So definitely a lot of momentum here, and 103.50 is probably going to be the next target. And if it does push to 103.50, I do think our Euro USD short will become activated, and Euro will hit 1.05, and then also gold should start dropping. But yeah, on the monthly time frame, looking to the left, we can see that anytime in the past in history when we cleared 103.5, we made rallies to newer highs. So once we do break 103.5, we can probably look for those levels. But I'd probably go for maybe something like 105, like a nice psychological level, 105 as a target. But yeah, the dollar in terms of technicals, it looks pretty good, and it's a clear uptrend since dating back to 2011. Also, let's take a look at the fundamental schedule for next week, because that's also plays a factor. So Monday is very quiet. That's surprising. It's good for us. Tuesday, French Euro stuff. So a lot of French and German PMI, and no forecast yet because we're a bit too early. But you can see the events. And so this is going to be a main thing for Euro. So maybe by Tuesday we'll have our answer for Euro, whether it's going to be up or down for this quarter, and how how the European zone is handling the pandemic. Then we have USD flash manufacturing PMI. This will also be important. So I think Tuesday will be a very important day for the Euro, and maybe even some of the other pairs like Euro Pound, Euro Yen. And then Wednesday, CPI for the pound, and then the rest of the day is pretty quiet. Some core durable goods. Thursday, a lot of Swiss stuff, so Swiss retails. Okay, so if you're holding into, pound, you're holding into in pound trades, you should watch out for next Friday, and then, next Thursday, and then Friday is pretty quiet. So in terms of fundamentals, we have some big events next week, but mainly for the European zone. So obviously Europe, and then Britain. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, to answer your question, I think the dollar will be good. Yeah, I used to do that too, Crypto Buddy. I add the dollar index as a leading indicator. Yep, that's pretty good. Also signed up this week and made 30% already. Wow, that is impressive. Someone signed up and made 30% this week. That is impressive. GA, we'll take a look at GA, and people on portal haven't forget about you. So someone on the portal says, so someone asked Euro Aussie, Euro GBP. We didn't take those trades, but I'll take a look. Someone also asked, how is your health since hospital? I was not in the hospital. Thank God I was not in the hospital. No, I'm good. Just had a stomach flu, which I got rid of some antibiotics, or I'm getting rid of. I have 3 more days left in my course. But thank you for asking. So look at Euro Aussie, Euro Pound for Magnus, NSD Yen, Pound Yen, GA. Okay, awesome. So thank you for these recommendations. And guys, stay tuned for the end of the session. That 50% coupon code that everyone's talking about, I'll be giving it out at the end, and you'll be able to join. And so Euro Aussie, my goodness. And there was probably a trade setup right here, to be honest. I'm pretty sure if we go to the daily, there was a good potential to go long, and there was. So let's pop to the 4-hour to see this, dissect this. And so if you guys remember, this is our previous long idea last week, which played out pretty nicely. So I'm going to remove it now, and we're going to talk about what happened since. So, this is our blue zone, which we've talked about. And on the 4-hour time frame, if you just had these levels plotted out and you saw this 4-hour candle, you could have easily entered for a long position like this, which stops below the previous low. The previous lows are down here. And then your take profit all the way up to the next blue zone. And if you just entered after this one 4-hour candle, just from a basic, resistance and support zone, you'd have made all these pips going long. So hopefully, whoever likes to trade Euro Aussie, I'm not really too much of a fan, but I do it for you guys. If you're a fan and you have these levels down, I mean, the profitability just from entering on the two criteria we follow, I mean, that's 1,000 pips right there, right? Which is phenomenal. So that tells me our key level is work, and you can see since then we've popped back below. Even had a retest and a rejection of that level. So next week we might look for shorts depending on what happens with the Aussie. The reason why this sell-off happened was because for the last half of this week, the Aussie dollar started to make some retraces and gain some strength, and obviously this thing fell down. So that's probably an update on Euro Aussie. We didn't call an official trade, or at least I didn't, but there was definitely a setup there just based on the levels we have. You know, we have a support zone, our weekly levels right here, and then a resistance zone and a resistance zone. But this daily candle looks pretty bullish, so I wouldn't bite too much into it. What I'd be doing honestly is waiting for Sunday and Monday's market open, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have a scenario where the candle comes back up above here. You know, this squeezes up, or we get a candle somewhere here, and then we continue our move to the upside. You know, like a candle like this. Obviously not one whole candle, but you know, you get what I mean, right? So I think that's what's going to happen for Euro Aussie. I think the Aussie will still be affected by the pandemic. Obviously, it's China. It's China's biggest trading partner, and they have a good amount of cases there as well. So what I see, as you can see, we had probably like 8 or 9 days of buys. So it was due for a retrace, and it has created some support here. So unless it breaks the support on the 4-hour, I don't see shorts as a viable option. So just highlighting this mini zone. Unless it breaks this mini blue zone, I don't see shorts as an option. If it pops back above here, I'd be looking for longs, something like this, and I'd be eager to enter this long just because the R to R would be phenomenal, 2.6, and this is probably around 1,000 pips in play. So that's Euro Aussie. Let's take a look at Euro Pound real quick, and then we'll look at NSD Yen and Pound Yen. So Euro Pound, I'm going to remove the past long we had, which played out perfectly, and let's take a look. So yeah, once again, you know, the only reason why we had this sell-off, right, is because pound dollar was gaining this week. For the later half of this week, after it had a huge meltdown, pound dollar started to make a mini rally, and so it gained some strength. But you can see this daily, you know, this 4-hour candle. This is very, very bullish. I mean, this is the telltale bullish buy signal. If you told me to give you a trade just off of one candle, I mean, this candle, you know, huge wick to the bottom. That tells you that sellers pushed price all the way down here, but a surge of buyers came back in and squeezed the price all the way back up to here. And so this is a pretty good buy signal. You know, there's actually a trading strategy based on just this candle itself to take scalps for longs. For example, even here you could see we had a similar candle, and we did have a push up of around 60 pips. So I do think, you know, this is just a minor retrace, you know, in the grand scheme of things for Euro Pound. As long as it can stay above this blue zone, which has shown in the past to do so, it'll do a rally. So that's what we're looking for. And ideally, if we can clear this resistance at 0.91467, right here, this line, if we can break above it, then we're probably going to be going back up. But I'm not really trading Euro Pound too much. I mainly do it for you guys. Yeah, catch fifths, not chrome. I can't even say that word. YouTube will actually flag our video if we say that word. Yeah, that's crazy, right? That's how you know they want to censor your thoughts. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if they're demonetizing your videos for saying a specific word, an event that's going around the world that's affecting many lives, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so that's those pair recommendations out of the way. Let me look at NSD Yen, Pound Yen, and then you guys can send in more questions. I'll be happy to answer. So I'm just going to remove some of these old rays. So these lines, if you're wondering, these mini lines are actually take profit levels from past trades that we've took. But the solid dark lines, these long ones, are our weekly levels. Now, NSD Yen, there could be a chance to short again. I mean, this thing has been pretty annoying because you know, we did have a major push below support and a sell-off. We came pretty close to our past target of 58, but since then we made a pushback above, and we're kind of stuck within this kind of zone. You can see when we gapped down a few weeks ago, we have yet to kind of fill out that gap, and we've stayed, pretty respectful to these levels, right? We had rebounds from this level, rebounds from this level, and now rebounds from this level. So what I'll be doing on Monday, and this is a setup I would be looking to take, is for this support to get cleared again. If it gets cleared again on the 4-hour time frame, which we're on, with a nice bearish closure, then we'll probably take the short again, make another run for this level. The New Zealand dollar is heavily affected by the pandemic, and as you guys know, the Japanese yen is a safe haven. It gains strength during times of chaos, pandemic, war, famine, etc. That's what it does. So I do think the safe havens will continue their dominance. Maybe this week when the countries were working on a vaccine or doing things internationally to help each other out, I think this thing kind of made a relief push. But I think overall the inevitable will happen, and that is this thing will continue lower. But we need that break below. I'm actually gonna put an alert because this setup looks pretty good to me, and it'll probably be a key player next week. So just a simple trading alert at 62.973 to notify me on Sunday or Monday if this thing does break below. But just to show an example of what the type of trade setups we like to trade, and we'll probably have if we get a bearish closure. So entry would be somewhere down here. We're going to have a stop loss in between the trading range of this level and this level, and then our take profit will be all the way down here. And we'll take profits every 25 to 40 pips, and this is a nice 4.11 risk to reward ratio setup. You can't beat that. Next up is pound yen. We'll take a look at that, and then I'll go over some other stuff that you guys want me to take a look at. Alright, here you go. So I have many charts because there's so many brokers and charts. Some charts are from 2019, so I'm gonna clean this up so it looks nice. So this is our chart for 2020 for pound yen, and it looks pretty clean, pretty nice and to the point. And right off the bat, you can see this level, this one main level, 127.481 or 127.500. That area has been a major support on the weekly time frame. Dating back to 2016, we spent multiple weeks here before we had a rally, and you can see this week's closure is very bullish. You can see it's a bearish hammer right now. It tells you sellers were all the way down here, and we really could have made a push to new lows, new historic lows down here, but buyers came back and squeezed this thing. So that tells me that the pound yen is not giving up, and it's looking to push up. You can see the daily candles tell the tale. So this daily candle was not a bad entry to go short, but you can see it's kind of a hammer. We have a small wick to the bottom, but a longer wick we have a small wick to the top, but a very long wick to the bottom. And you can see this candle push back up. So if I was a swing trader, and I am, from time to time, I have two accounts, one for intraday, one for swing. I wouldn't mind taking this long trade. I really wouldn't. The only thing that's holding me back is the current pandemic. We know the safe havens, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, are gonna exceed and excel during these times. It's just how it works, right? They're safe havens. People move away from riskier assets such as the pound, which is a very risky asset post Brexit, and they go into the safe haven. So we'll see what happens with this, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does go up here. But in terms of the fundamentals, this just might be a deep retrace, maybe to get some stops before going lower. But I mean, man, we could probably identify an entry. So this area right here is kind of, pointing out to me. It's kind of getting my attention, this previous area right here. The last time we had a rally, we came on a retrace back to this specific area before going higher. And if I just take a nice little horizontal ray, and I put it where this area is, you can see that's where price is currently struggling to stay above, right? You can see right now price is trying its best to stay above this, and if it does, then we might have a good solid entry for next week. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see the struggle we're talking about. This candle is fighting for its dear life to stay above this, and not only that, if this candle closes bullish, because right now it's not really a bullish candle in my opinion. Too much of a wick to the top side. If it can close a bit more bullish, then I wouldn't mind making a gun to maybe 137. But it's definitely counter trend and counter sentiment trading, which is not ideal during these times of chaos where volatility is extreme, like very extreme. For example, for pound yen, 600 pips in the span of a day. So this thing moves 600 pips in a day. So that's how crazy these pound pairs are, especially during this time. And so I don't want to counter trend trading. That's just not ideal. And to be honest, even though it has cleared this previous high, I'm not really buying it. Just because price has cleared a previous high does not mean it's a trend reversal. That's a common myth that people get wrong. But anyways, we'll see on Monday. Nothing too glaring that would make me want to enter. USD CHF, please. Of course, I'll give it that a look. Thomas. Hope I'm saying that right. So this week we had a mini long for USD CHF from this level right here, and we targeted here. And then I was also looking at another long to take this thing to this next level. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. I didn't call this signal. This was kind of like a signal I was gonna call, and this was done on my own time. But during the live session, we did have a long from here to this level, which was achieved. I won't even use it on the pip count, but this was a potential setup I was looking for, but thankfully I didn't take it. And I guess USD CHF is going to be a matter of who wins the tug of war, either the dollar or the Swiss franc. And I'm going to remove these lines. Once again, they're just take profit levels for our past short, so I'm going to remove these. So as you can see from the daily time frame, USD CHF is in a pretty neat spot just because it's come off this huge support, and the current daily candle is a bearish hammer. So what this tells me is there's still some buyers holding on, and if on Sunday we do break above this level, like my original trade idea, we should make that fulfillment of this move back to this level, like we have done in the past many times from this level, and that's what we'll be looking for on Monday, that dollar strength. And the weekly time frame can tell the tale, right? So the weekly time frame, you can kind of see the trading zone we're in between this resistance zone and this support zone right here. And we've come off a really solid, support down here as well. We're pretty much respecting every level that we've plotted. And now, in terms of the long-term gain in the weekly time frame, it does look like we'll make a push back to 1.00200 or 1.000, a nice psychological level for USD CHF. So that's what I see in my opinion. If I were you and you're looking for trades Monday morning, I'd be looking for a bullish closure above this level to take it higher. Okay, ideally on the 4-hour time frame, just for the volatility, but even the 1 hour is fine, I guess, and see where it takes you. We already have too many good setups that I want to take that, I probably wouldn't get too engaged into this, but, this is probably a nice setup that you can take right here. And obviously, if you stop loss, will probably be right below the halfway of this range, right here on the halfway point, and you get a nice 2.11 R2R. So, you can see it's still clear uptrend. This is just the new low it created, but it does have to, exceed this previous high to continue higher. GA, let's take a look. Rita, this guy's analysis is nuts, simple and consistent as F. Thank you very much. Thanks, man. Let's take a look at GA. Now, GA has been just consolidating all week. I've been looking at it, and it's just been bounding from one key level to another. I mean, look at this consolidation. This is the 4-hour time frame. I mean, how do you even trade this? You probably just trade the range, but quickly, if you go on the 1-hour time frame, you can probably plot the two ranges right here. Nice resistance and support. This tight two supports. We have that, and we also have this intraday support here as well. So I'm trying to get this all in one picture, but since March 8th. Since March 8th, this thing has been pretty much spent maybe around 80% of its time in between this range, in between this box. 80% of the time, GA was in between these two price points, from here to here. So a lot of consolidation. I don't know why, but who knows? Whatever the case may be. And then whenever it did break above, it did wick to these levels right here. So we'll plot that with just the horizontal ray. Okay, so for some reason, this level and then these two zones right here have huge significance because it's been spending most of its time here. And then if you just count the number of short opportunities you've had from this level. Okay, so let's say, this is your, this price goes here, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your resistance is confirmed, right? This is resistance now. All right, price comes back up here. You have a short you made around, let's see, let's actually measure this out. Price comes here, you do a short, you make 140 pips. Okay, boom. And then you do that same thing again. Comes to resistance, you take a short, another 200 pips. Okay, this thing comes almost there, we won't take that. Almost there, we won't take that, etc., etc. Comes here, you take another short, that's a winning trade. Comes here, you take another short, that's a winning trade. It comes here, you wait for a rejection, it closes below the resistance, you take a short at 60 pips. Same thing here, you would have lost this trade. Here you would have won this trade, here you would have won this trade, here you would have won this trade. You get the point, right? So it's been consolidating like crazy. So I said all of this, this mumbo jumbo to show you guys this candle. This candle is providing us an opportunity like the past 10 opportunities right here, right? And this is just me counting the sells. There's obviously the buys from this level with the same amount. There's 10 sells from here, 10 buys from here, and 20 trades. You probably lost 3 out of 20. So 17 out of 20 trades you probably won just trading these two zones this week. So what I'm talking about is this candle right here. So this 1 hour candle looks pretty good. If this was not a Friday, I would definitely be willing to risk a small stake in this trade to go short. And my stop loss will be pretty simple. I just look where previous wicks were, and they're commonly around this level. So I plot my stop loss just a bit above, and then if you enter short here, here you go, 1.91. And to be honest, this is probably better than 1.91 because of the respect it has for this level. And obviously, you're not going to take your profit all the way down here. You'd be looking for maybe 30, 45 pip gains. So somewhere here where there's a lot of support. So that's my opinion for GA. It's really stuck in a zone. And for shorts, it usually stops at this level, right? If I extend this level over, you can see, usually in the beginning when it was shorting, it was coming all the way down here. But as the week went on and the Aussie dollar got some strength, it didn't go all the way down here like it used to, right? So you can see from this point on, it just tapped this level, go back up. It tapped this level, go back up. It tapped this level, go back up. Sometimes it'd break it, but come back up. And then, so this level is very key. So if you're looking for an intraday short, maybe this would be ideal. Obviously, Monday, not today, but that's my idea. Wait for that, 1 hour or 4 hour bearish closure and take advantage of the zones. Alternatively, this also makes our job easy for longs, really. As you can see, since we have defined this level where, we haven't had a candle closure other than this one, if we do get a bullish candle closure above this level, we're probably going to be headed back up to, 2.07500. And so that's the thought process, because you can see the previous 1 hour candle was a hammer. So if this next one, which is a daily candle, prints a hammer, for example, hope I'm not going too fast, but I don't want to spend too much time. But if today's daily candle can close bullish above this horizontal ray, then we're probably gonna make a gun for 2.07500. So that's the idea for GA. Sunday, look for an intraday short on a 4 hour closure, and then take this type of setup. If it closes above this level, look for longs, and that will be that. So Aussie yen we covered, but I guess I'll go over it really quickly. Oh, nice swig. If you're on Discord, you can send your pair recommendations also in user requested TA. There is a session today. It's on the portal, guys. And I'll also go over some questions here as well. So okay, so quickly Aussie yen. Let's give it a look on the daily. And this is a trade we made a quick 70 to 80 pips off of. But the issue was yesterday's daily candle, which is this one, is an indecision candle. If you don't know what an indecision candle is, it's a candle with a equal wick to the top and bottom. It's basically telling you it doesn't really know what it wants to do right now. Equal number of buyers and sellers. So this is obviously telling us that there's a neutral bias right now, even though we've printed another bullish candle afterwards. What I'll be waiting for, and these horizontal rays once again are just take profits from the level from the trade we just took. But I'd be probably waiting for us to clear this previous line we stopped at. So when we took our short yesterday, we had a particular level that we stopped going lower at, and that's this level right here, 62.762. We failed to go lower than that, and that's, I think, was our second take profit. And so what I'll be waiting for is probably price to first close below this major support at 64.109. And if it does, then we can probably target that same short, because this is the same point where we took the short yesterday. The thought process is if we break this level, we will go here, which we did, and the same thing should happen, because history likes to repeat itself, especially in the markets. So on Monday, we'll be looking for a closure below here to take the same short again. Now, if we get this short and then we get a break below this level, then we're definitely headed lower, and then we can broaden our targets down to here. So that's my opinion right now. I mean, this is just a minor relief from these major sell-offs, which is no surprise to us. These type of reliefs tend to happen. So that's my opinion. I'll probably put an alert in case this thing happens over the weekend. So condition crossing down at 63.906 would be the optimal level for us. So that's Aussie yen. And let me look at some questions in the portal. Someone has questions. So someone says, as a very beginner trader, there's a lot to take in. Would you recommend focusing on a few pairs, and if so, which pairs? But also, will the current economic climate create opportunities in other pairs rather than the pairs you would suggest to focus on? That's a really good question. I think I'll actually copy paste this and put it on a chart somewhere here so you guys can see. This is a really good question, and I think this question could even apply to advanced traders as well. So let me just make this smaller. If only there's a way to squeeze this down. It has to be, right? Oh, never mind. It was worth a shot. But basically, as a very beginner trader, there's a lot to take in. Would you recommend focusing on only a few pairs? If so, which pairs? That's a good question. But also, will the current economic climate create opportunities in other pairs rather than the pairs you would suggest to focus on? Okay, so I'll try to answer this in two parts. The first one is, as a beginner trader, is there pairs I would have you focus on? Yes. So contrary to common belief, I rather have beginners focus on USD CHF, CAD CHF, and USD CAD. These are probably the most easiest pairs to trade, in my opinion. As a beginner, these pairs just respect technical levels so well. If you open up any CHF pair in general, they respect technical levels very well because the Swiss franc has certain guidelines it likes to follow when it comes to pricing their currency, and that's what makes it a safe haven. So when you trade the safe havens, you're usually in good hands. So USD CHF and CAD CHF, very easy to follow, and also USD CAD also respects technical levels pretty nicely as well. That's what I would recommend you to focus on. And right now, the reason why, and I covered this in the session before, the reason why we're focusing on, Aussie dollar, so Aussie AUD, NSD, so New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, and US dollar and US oil, is because of the current situation. So we know the pandemic, we know what's going on. So Aussie dollar, its biggest trade partner is China. When China's, getting affected in terms of economy or health-wise, Australia's going to be affected. That's a simple thing. And coming into 2020, Australia, the Aussie dollar was already bearish. They're looking to cut rates, so that's just compounding the bearish sentiment for the Aussie. Next up, New Zealand dollar, which is also heavily correlated with the Aussie, will also be affected. as they are looking to kind of establish their own grounds within the European Union. Okay, next up is the Japanese yen. So obviously safe haven, one of the best safe havens there is. They have negative interest rates. Their people have virtually zero debt. That's how good the Japanese economy is. So this is a safe haven. When there's a war, whether it's a World War III, a pandemic, like the thing that's going on right now, or just a recession, the Japanese yens and the Swiss francs of the world tend to dominate. Next up is USD, which is a safe haven, but it's not the preferred safe haven because during times of chaos, people rather prefer these two rather than this. And then US oil, it's very easy to trade in my opinion, especially during times of chaos. You know that US oil is going to go down. When you have a pandemic like this and quarantines are happening, people aren't traveling as much. Flights aren't taking off as much. Overall transportation's down. Energy expenditures down all across the board. So obviously US oil will struggle. So that's why we're focusing on trading these pairs during the pandemic. But we don't discriminate. We will trade any setup that has any pair that has a setup. Because this strategy applies to any pair, Bitcoin, crypto, commodities, stocks, whatever. And hopefully that answers your question. And it was too much of a mouthful. Oh, text wrap, cool, awesome. Someone asked for GA. No, someone asked for USD CAD. So we'll look at USD CAD. And this is a good setup that you asked me for because someone asked yesterday. And they gave a pretty simple setup for USD CAD, and it played out pretty nicely. So, we'll take a look at this. I'm going to take a swig of my Coke. So, this is the type of chart work you expect when you become a trade room member. And it's very clean. And so, basically, I'll try to move this over. We had two zones, right? The support zone and resistance. And let me try to close this idea. So, basically, I said a 4-hour closure above this level yesterday, somewhere here, will pave the way for 1.49000. We didn't get that yesterday. Instead, we got a break of the support, and it was a 4-hour bearish closure below support. May introduce shorts, and that's all you need to do. Identify your levels, read price action. We had a nice bearish 4-hour closure right here. This is actually 1 hour, but if you go to the 4-hour, you see the closure. Right. So the 4-hour closure. This is a very, very, very bearish candle. This is a prime textbook example. If you're a beginner trader, this is the type of bearish candle you want to see. Completely dominated our support, and then you can see we had a nice sell-off. Our overall target was here, but I'm a big advocate of taking profits at least every 25 pips, and let's see the gain you would have made. If your entry was here, the gain was over 240 pips potentially. So if you didn't secure profits in this 240 pip move, then you afford to lose all this profit. Okay, I mean, this is being honest, because if you have 240 pips floating and you don't take any profits, you don't move stops to profit or entry, then you're not using risk management properly. And so this is a simple move. It took this analysis took maybe 5 minutes to do, and that's the type of consistency you'll get in the trade room. And I won't even use this in the pip count. This is just freebies. It's the time of giving, right? So that's that. So without further ado, I'm gonna give the 50% coupon code for our Forex trading room. Now what this entails and how to use this is, what you're going to do is you're going to go to forexlens.com and actually have the website open. I have the past results. If you want to see my past results, they're all here, and also our other providers, it's all here to see. So go to forexlens.com. Once you're there, you go to Forex trading room, you click get started. You're going to fill out this quick form. It'll take maybe 2 minutes. When you click next, there'll be a section to add a promo code, and you will add first 50. This is the number 0, not the letter O. First 50, all capitals, and you'll get 50% off your first month. That'll only be $48.50. Think about it. You spend that on dinner, you spend that for beers, you spend that for a lunch. It's not too much money to ask for, and you're gonna get all my live sessions Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday